everybody, and welcome back to our lives and the first edition, the inaugural the first edition of the California Chronicles. That's what I'm calling it.
I'm having a medical emergency.
We thought we would start with a geography lesson because we realized in talking to our families that not a lot of you guys understand where in California we live because it's such a big state. So for a little bit of context, we live in the San Francisco Bay Area. So to our west is the Pacific Ocean and to our east is the San Francisco Bay. So we have water on both sides, which is really nice. And when you enter Stanford's campus from the surrounding area, you enter through something called Palm Drive, which is very surreal, very whimsical, I would say. And so when Connor and I were getting to campus the first time, we took a trip down Palm Drive, and it's pretty surreal.
It's stunning.
And then you get to Escondido Village, which is the area of campus where we live. And Connor, what were your first impressions of Stanford and Escondido Village?
It was kind of overwhelming at first.
It definitely is very overwhelming. So William and Mary, I guess, is a really small campus, I'm learning, because the area of campus we live, Escondido Village, which is a major graduate housing hub, just that neighborhood of graduate students is the size of William and Mary's campus.
Mm-hmm.
And for example, William and Mary, the building I did research in was called the Integrated Science Center, and it housed biology, chemistry, psychology. It was the science building on campus. Whereas here, again, the science buildings are larger than William and Mary's entire campus. And I work in the engineering quad, which is 4 different engineering buildings, which blows my mind because William and Mary didn't even have one engineering building. And so it was kind of overwhelming. Everything here is really big, but really beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
You could just live and never leave campus and be happy because there's a sculpture garden with a bunch of Rodin sculptures. He's the guy who made the Thinker. We have one of his Thinker-like sculptures just casually on campus and an art museum dedicated to him. There's this beautiful cactus garden and just all these weird, cool, pretty buildings, and there's palm trees and just gorgeous walkways, and it's very ideal, surreal.
Idyllic even.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So now I'll talk a little more specifically about where we live. So like I said, we live in Escondido Village, which is the main graduate student housing community on campus. And we live in a very familial area of it. So our mid-rise is called Hoskins, and it's one of the couples housing units on campus. And so every single tenant of the apartment is a couple, which is really cute and really sweet. And we've made some couple friends already. Mm-hmm. And some of them are 2 people who met at Stanford, but a lot of them are a graduate student with a non-graduate student partner.
Random people.
Random losers.
Randos. Yeah, lots of super fun people, lots of super fun dogs. There's only 2 living in our building, but we know all of the dogs in the area.
Because since this is the more familial area, this is couples housing, there's other couples housing around, and then there's family housing too, and so there's lots of playgrounds, and it's really cute. But from our apartment, you can see the dog park, and so Connor and I are always peeking because there's so many dogs. There's Hopper.
There's the big one.
There's Fluffy.
A couple tiny ones.
Yeah, and so we've named all the dogs there and we watch them a lot. And so that's, I think, one of the biggest perks of this apartment is that we have prime dog park viewing territory. And we can lock up. And when you come in, this is the kitchen area. We have our fridge and an above fridge space and even more above fridge space. All kinds of cabinets, cute counters, more cabinets. So much kitchen storage, including 2 pantries. So lots and lots and lots of storage space in there. And then you come in here, there's Connor.
Hi.
This is where the TV will eventually go. We got a little couch facing it with a coffee table. And then this is desk with storage in the back and storage drawers. This is one of our many windows. We're on the 7th floor, so we're high up like we wanted. This is one of the entryways to our balcony here. It's a huge balcony. Connor, go out there, show them how big the balcony is. Wow. And it's cool because there's a screen, so you can keep the balcony door open and just have the screen, so it could be like that, but huge balcony. And then, stay there, Connor. I can find him from the bedroom as well. So there's 2 entryways to the balcony, but I'll backtrack a little bit. So yeah, that's our living room here. And then this is the front door again. So now if you turn left instead of going straight, one of our closets is here. So that'll be either Connor or I's. And then there's a pantry. So this place has so much storage. It's a double pantry. So this will be bathrooms, stuff, and linens. And then here's the bathroom. We got toilet, sink, mirror. That's a medicine cabinet. Then we got a tub / shower and towel rack. So cute little bathroom and storage spot. And then this is our bedroom, which you saw already has the balcony access. We have 1 bedside table. Here's the bed. And then not 1, but 2 dressers, which is more than we thought. And then an extra closet and some cute windows all around. And one of our favorite parts of the apartment is our balcony. That was one of our top priorities. That's why we ranked this type of apartment first, because we wanted to be able to have some outside space.
Of course.
But speaking of first impressions of California, I think we spent the first 2 or 3 weeks here deathly terrified of earthquakes, to the point that we weren't sleeping at night. We were looking up earthquake facts, watching earthquake videos, reading building codes until 1 a.m. every night, because we were so scared. Because I don't know if y'all non-Californians know this, but there's a 90% chance, 70% chance, 70% chance that in the next 10 years, which is how long we're here, that the big one hits. So the big one's coming, and our building is not structurally sound.
Oh my God. You guys can't pick this up. It's happening.
You non-Californians might not realize what's happening right now.
This is a lot easier to fake than the bear.
So, we get here. We get to our beautiful apartment. We put our suitcases upstairs. We don't fight about it at all. There's no fights about parking. There's no fights about luggage. Just your picture perfect couple.
Yes.
And we go to bed, and then we wake up, and it's oh, time to move into our apartment. But wait, there's a 21
We forgot to fight. Oh, sorry. But also this is cool.
So Connor and I, before taking our trip out west, had booked 21 Pilots concert tickets for the day.
Not one more, not one less.
For the day after our move-in date, which seemed like a great idea at the time. But it was really cool because it's a band I've liked for almost a decade now, as has Connor.
More than a decade, actually.
Okay. And they just put out, our senior year of college, a new album that is both of our favorite albums they've ever put out. And so it's childhood nostalgia. It's something that is one of the first things that we discovered we had in common. And they're coming to Oakland, which geography lesson part 2 is in East Bay. Right? Oh, I was worried that was wrong.
No.
And so we don't even finish moving into the apartment. We got pit tickets, and so it's not reserved seating, and so you have to get there early to line up so that you can get into the front. It's not my first rodeo, and so
it was mine.
It was his first rodeo, which was very fun. That's part of what made it so special. So we drive to Oakland before lunch, and we're in line forever and ever and ever, and we get in, and we're 4th row from the front, so close. And we're having so much fun, and I'll show the videos of the concert, but just to contextualize the first video. So for their concert, they have a big curtain down, so you can't see anything that's happening on the stage, and everyone's so excited. They have a big cult following. The energy is everyone's buzzing. It's so intense. And we're just waiting. When's it gonna start? When's it gonna start? When's it gonna start? And all of a sudden, the music kicks in, and there's a little bass going, and everyone is screaming, and the music, and the music, and the music, and the music, and then the curtain drops. Oh, and then Josh is on drums.
Yeah.
And everyone's screaming and screaming and screaming, and then all of a sudden Tyler runs out, and there's a big gunshot bang, and Tyler jumps on the stage.
And fireworks.
Yeah, so you'll see. I'll show you the first video that I just described and then some other videos from the concert. So it was your first concert for a band that you really liked.
Yes.
And it was your first time in the pit.
Yes.
Thoughts, feelings.
Oh, it was so much fun. I had such a good time.
The energy was
That was
like,
my
so
favorite
high.
concert I've ever been to.
No, I agree. It was a really, really fun night. And in a way, I think it was really nice because we had just come off of this high of the road trip. And it was like, oh, time to settle into like normal job life. And then 21 Pilots concert, what?
And then I got an email while we were at the concert that I wouldn't be starting work until 2 weeks after expected, so that was fun.
Yeah, so we both actually had a couple weeks before we started working to settle in, which ended up being really nice because I feel like we got to explore the area a lot and also some time to set up the apartment and move into it and really make it feel like a home. And so my lovely parents bought us some beautiful patio furniture to put on our balcony, and so we set that up, and that was quite the endeavor. I had never really built furniture. Not that I built it, but like my dad does it for me. I had never constructed furniture before. And like, frankly, let's be real, Connor did it for me this time.
That's not true.
But I assisted. I did help. And so we got to set up our balcony furniture, which was really nice. And then I'm sure you're all wondering, this is the big, like, how is he settling in? How is he doing? Trip is okay. Trip is doing well. I know you saw in the intro to the video, he has new plates now. It was a little scary. And you're like, oh, is he still Trip? Because his TRP plates are gone. He's still Trip. He's still Trip to me.
And to me.
But something did happen to him that was a little traumatic. He and Connor got in a little accident.
A little bit.
His little paint got chipped. And so we decided to treat him to a little spa day and take him to the car wash.
He needed it so badly after the drive.
I love car washes. They're magical, they're colorful, they're bubbly. And so I told Connor was like, I'm gonna go take Trip to the car wash. And I was like, I think if you go to the car wash without me, like that's worse than cheating on me to do that. That would be horrible. And so we went together. It was so fun.
It was so much fun.
And so about a week later, we were fully settled into the apartment. And we'll have a little apartment tour playing now, and you're like, whoa, some of the furniture is in a different place than the first video. We rearranged it. We were little home decorators.
Yeah.
It's really cute. You'll see little pumpkin pillows on the couch, which actually you've seen the whole time we've been talking. But my parents sent us little pumpkin pillows to make the apartment more fall, and they sent us these little crocheted pumpkins as decorations too. And we've been getting to know my great aunt and uncle, Susan and Ross, since they live in Menlo Park, and they bought us a little housewarming plant, and so you'll see that on the desk.
Still
and
alive.
Actually, after filming the apartment tour, they bought us orchid. They bought us an orchid.
It's an orchid.
They bought us an orchid. And so we now have 2 plants and such a cute, cozy apartment. It's really cute. I don't know. I really like it. I know shade to King and Queen, but I think I like this one a little better. It's just really homey. So now that we're all settled in the apartment, we started being able to venture out of the apartment a little more. And one of the first things that we wanted to do is get into a particular sport.
American gridiron football.
And so Stanford has a football team, and they just moved into the ACC for the first time, and we were really excited. And actually, the first 2 games we watched, they won, and we were like, "Wow, this is a really good team."
It's gonna be a great season, guys. Just hold on. That was a while ago, though.
Yeah, and they're finishing out bottom 3 in the division.
Bottom 2 in the division. If we win on Friday, it will be a final record of 4-8, but it's probably going to be 3-9 for the 4th season in a row.
But we did get to see them win.
Yes.
That wasn't proper. And speaking of getting out of the apartment, we decided to go meet a local celebrity. Because, California, LA, Hollywood. There's lots of
San
celebrities.
Francisco.
There's lots of celebrities.
Palo Alto.
There's lots of celebrities in California.
Mhm.
We were like, wow, it's truly a California experience to meet your hero. And so we met
Our hero.
Perry the donkey. As I'm sure all of you are very familiar with the iconic American tale of Shrek.
Donkey!
Oh my god. That was bad. I didn't like that.
Yeah, no, I'm sorry. That's getting cut out, right?
No. So I know what you're thinking. Megan and Connor, Shrek is an animated movie. How did you meet Perry the donkey? And his name's not Perry. But the donkey in Shrek was modeled off of a real life Jerusalem donkey named Perry. And he lives in Palo Alto, just at a little donkey farm in a park, a public park. And so Connor and I did a little hike at the park, and we got to meet Perry, the hero. And after doing that, it's like, wow, now I can die. Or start working full-time 9 to 5 every day. And so Connor and I started our jobs. And well, actually, I really like my job a lot.
I do some days.
It's very fulfilling, and I enjoy it very thoroughly, actually. Mm-hmm. But how would you start?
So I have started working as a substitute teacher in a couple of local school districts, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very difficult some days, and other days go so absurdly smoothly that I'm like, wow, I'm actually getting, this is my job. I'm getting paid to do this. Those days are in the minority, but they happen once in a while, which is nice. But I'm enjoying it a lot, and the kids are super nice for the most part, and want to be there for the most part, and kind to their sub for the most part. But no, it's been going great. I'm enjoying it a lot, and I'm currently, while I'm subbing, also applying to a couple of graduate school of education programs at a couple of schools in the area as well, to pursue a teaching degree and the actual credential. But yeah, things are going pretty well day to day.
Meanwhile, I've been working as well. And so
what are you doing these days?
Well, we can start with orientation, which is really interesting. My first 2 days post my program starting were at the department retreat. So that was kind of my initial chance to meet everybody. And we did that in Monterey Bay, which is in Southeast Bay. It was Pacific Ocean.
It's Monterey Bay area. Different bay. So southwest of where we live on the ocean. At a Asilomar conference ground, which is really cool for all you synthetic biology nerds in the audience, because there was at a conference. If you listen quietly, you can hear them.
There's a very historic bioengineering conference that happened at Asilomar.
They have whales.
And then we had our bioengineering conference at Asilomar.
You didn't see any whales, though.
We didn't see any whales. But I got to meet the people in my cohort, and they're all so nice and so lovely, and I got to meet a lot of professors, and they're also nice and so lovely, and there's lots of cool stuff happening in the department. And then we came back onto campus, and we had a couple more days of orientation, including a full day interactive safety training. Is this boring?
No. I hope you tell them about the fire extinguisher.
Yeah, I got to use a fire extinguisher to put out a real fire, which was really fun. And I also had to use a safety shower, because a lot of people contaminate themselves and are too embarrassed to use the shower, and so they made each one of us individually line up and use a safety shower so that we wouldn't be embarrassed to use it in event of emergency, and all kinds of fun hands-on stuff like that. And then I started working. I'm working with a photosynthetic algae called Batriococcus browni, and essentially this algae can produce oils to 50% of its body weight, and these biofuel oils are just a quick conversion away from being converted to useful products like octane. And so the idea is that you could bioengineer this organism to be faster growing or to upregulate its oil production, and you could get it to a point where it's actually a competitive, like economically competitive alternative to fossil fuels that's much more environmentally sustainable, because algae actually take in greenhouse gases like carbon dioxide to grow. But nobody's ever figured out how to engineer this organism before, because it's a non-model organism. And so my rotation, very broadly put, is just how do we get DNA into this algae? And so I've been doing some pretty cool stuff, including using a gene gun, which is something I've never done before. And there's this technique called ballistic bombardment, where you take these gold nanoparticles and you coat them in DNA, and then you use helium to create a pressure vacuum, and then you like release the vacuum and blast your cells with these like gold bullets coated in DNA and hope that some DNA gets into it. It's like the craziest technique I've ever used. It's really, really fun. Stanford has so much weird equipment. But I'm really loving my rotation, and I've never worked with algae before. I've only worked with bacteria, and so it's pretty cool. They're green. And now that we're over the boring work part of the video, ew, no one cares. We can talk about some fun stuff.
So I joined an adult soccer league in the area. It's done by the local soccer academy system, and then the funds from it go to scholarships to help local kids go to play college. So super cool, but it was a lot of fun. Met some other people just kind of in the area. Got absolutely smoked by people multiples of my age who were so much faster and better at soccer than me. So it was fun, a little intimidating at first, but it was a good time.
Yeah. And then we got really into soccer, particularly Stanford soccer.
Mm-hmm.
We started by watching the Stanford women's team, and they are phenomenal. Right now, the NCAA soccer tournaments are happening, and both the Stanford men and women made it. And if you're unfamiliar with college sports, NCAA is the national conference, and so the winner is the best team in the country. And Stanford men and women both made it into their respective NCAA tournaments and are still in it as we speak. And so Stanford women just made it into the quarterfinals, because they're one of the top 8 teams in the country.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Stanford men, their tournament's a little bit behind, and so they just made it into the round of 16.
So for those of you who don't know how college soccer works in the United States, there is 90 minutes, no additional time. They stop the clock for everything, and then the countdown ends. And when the countdown ends, it's not like basketball where if the ball is in the air and it could score, you wait. When the time stops, the game is over, regardless of whether the ball is flying into an empty net or what. So,
which is why seeing this shot from the men's team in a different game is one of the craziest things ever, because we went, actually we were watching this one on TV, but the men's team played a game, and it was, I think,
against Notre Dame.
Yeah, and to advance in the NCAA tournament, it was one of the first games. Oh, okay, a different tournament, but the game was about to go into overtime, and with just 3 seconds left on the clock, we did this.
Ferguson draws level. Here's a Hail Mary of a shot that... Unreal! Hooper! 1 second left! You gotta be kidding me!
And then it became October, and so we celebrated Connor's birthday on October 6th. And so, growing up, the tradition in my house was the birthday boy gets to pick all 3 meals of the day and the activity. And so Connor got to plan his dream day. We went to Santa Cruz,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going to interrupt your regularly scheduled programming with a little Santa Cruz vlog. Santa Cruz is also southwest of here, in Monterey Bay.
Yes.
But when I went to Monterey Bay, it was South Monterey Bay.
Yes.
And then we were in North Monterey Bay. And it was beautiful.
Stunning.
We got to do a little cliffside walking.
Mm-hmm.
We got to swim because it was warm enough in October to swim. We had a 100-degree heat wave in October this year, actually. It was
Lots of fun. Yeah.
Yeah. And then we went, there's like a boardwalk. It's like your classic, iconic Ferris wheel boardwalk, which I feel like there's not that many of nowadays. Yeah. And then we went to dinner, and Connor got to pick what we had for dinner, and he wanted to go to the Santa Cruz Taqueria.
And got amazing burritos.
Like huge burritos.
They were like comically large. Like I don't think we finished either of them.
And then we came back home and had pumpkin cake.
Mm-hmm. So good.
Speaking of restaurants, we have gotten to go to a couple restaurants. I literally didn't mean to switch into a British accent. It just happened.
Yeah, that's funny.
I don't think I can even replicate it again.
Keep it.
We have gotten to go to a couple of restaurants since arriving here in California.
Indeed. Ta-ta.
And we mutually, I've lost it.
We mutually agreed
that the best restaurant, I can't do the best restaurant we've ever been to, we're in agreement. Susan and Ross actually took us to last month. It's called, and I'm going to pronounce it wrong, so you have to pronounce it. Teleferique, Barcelona, which is a Spanish restaurant in the area, and we got some delicious food.
After this, we went a couple of weeks later for a smidgen of brunch to a acai bowl place called Palmetto Superfoods.
It's very Californian to have. I can't get it back. It's very Californian to have an acai bowl. And another place we went is Serene's, which is the local affordable Indian place that's walkable from campus. And we were actually invited by one of my friends from the bioengineering department, her friend, for a little outing. And it was really nice because every Sunday there's a farmer's market right off campus. And we went on the day of the farmer's market and we had outdoor seating like at the farmer's market. And so we were basically sitting at the farmer's market eating the food, and it was so good. And speaking of Indian food, just last weekend we decided to go on a little date night, and we went to a place that I've been dying to try ever since I heard about it. That's called Curry Pizza House. And so they're a pizza Indian fusion restaurant, and they have a hidden bar inside called Hidden Tap and Barrel. And so it's half like sports pizza joint, half bar, and then they serve like fusion Indian oh my god. And it's in the cutest little downtown Palo Alto area. We walked there, like the best area, and we got the best pizza.
Yeah, it was nothing like it. That was amazing.
So we decided to go splitsies because we always go splitsies, and we got a large pizza that we finished in one night with two halves. And the first half was the curry veggie delight, which is a like curry sauce with all of these veggies on it. And then the other half was an achari gobi pizza, which was a white garlic sauce with curried cauliflower and cilantro and other stuff on it.
It was so good. Yeah, it was delicious.
And then something very exciting happened, continuing chronologically off of Connor's birthday having just happened, which was that there was a once-in-a-lifetime comet. I don't know if you guys saw the news article about it, but there was a comet in the area.
Or saw it even.
Yeah, maybe you saw it. We saw it. And so we saw it. I know I saw it. When I squinted, I saw the tail. I really did.
I did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The guy saw it.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah. We took a walk to the Stanford Observatory, and there were a lot of other people there too, because we're space geeks. And we got to see a comet, and we have a little vlog from it, I think.
Yeah, we literally have it on video.
Yeah, so here you go. Oh, not the comet. It didn't pick up on camera, so I know you think we're lying, but we have videos of the experience.
It's getting easier and easier to fake these things.
We are hiking to the Student Observatory to see a comet. Connor, where's San Francisco?
So San Francisco is in that direction, conveniently placed right behind that tree there. All those cell phone towers down there. So it's in that area, and then those lights over here are the cities across the bay from here. I think Fremont. Like never thought I'd be off the East Coast, let alone sitting here looking at the coastal range of California.
Then it started really feeling like fall because the weather actually got colder. And Connor and I are very into living seasonally. So we like to eat seasonally, we like to drink seasonally, we like to live seasonally. And so we started getting really into seasonal cooking. And so it started in the transition between fall and summer with some like apple, blue cheese, walnut salads. It was like a kale, Brussels sprout base. And we made that a lot. We made that like every week for a little bit. And then I made what I think we're mutually in agreement is the best meal I've ever cooked, which is some fall enchiladas, corn shells. They were stuffed with these like chili seasoned acorn squash and black beans and cheese and refried beans, and topped with more cheese and green enchilada sauce and the leftover acorn squash that didn't fit in the enchiladas. Oh, wow.
So good.
They were so good.
It was just cooked to perfection.
And we also made a big chili. I feel like that was a big fall hit. I think we're actually making chili in like 2 days again, but this big whopping bowl of fall chili.
So, in the spirit of Halloween, we carved a pumpkin and took out his seeds and baked them. Wow, that from the pumpkin's perspective, Halloween is really horrifying.
Yeah, so we've been dating for the past 4 Halloweens, but somehow this was the first Halloween we were in the same place at the same time and able to carve a pumpkin together. And so that was really fun and really special. We did it like a week before Halloween, but it was very fun, and he was funny looking.
Yeah, he was definitely our pumpkin.
He gets from his dad. My parents were really sweet. In addition to the fall decor, they sent us a pumpkin carving kit, and so we were able to do it like pros.
It is actually a good kit, despite the evidence.
And then we went to a little Halloween party. Ooh, ooh.
Ooh.
So Stanford Graduate Student Council hosts parties every year, but the big party of the year is the Halloween party. And over like thousands of people were there.
Yeah,
it was from
easily.
Like 9 to 2, and Connor and I had to leave at 11:30 because it was so crowded we couldn't walk anymore. We had to like literally like swim through the crowd to get out.
Well, that was like 2 hours past our bedtime at that point.
So true.
Yeah.
But we didn't have any costumes, and so before the party we went to Spirit Halloween and we got frog hats, and then we went to the party. And then I think the most recent notable thing that we've done that's not just going to like more soccer games and more work and all of that is Katie and Lindsay, my aunts, came to town and took us on a trip to wine country, which was something I never thought I was going to get to experience. And so we did a beautiful drive across the Golden Gate Bridge.
Called 2 Yard Gate Park. They were using both as many statements towards as possible. And there's a flag on the opposite side.
It was absolutely stunning. We saw Megan's aunts, had a really, really good time.
Yeah, they took us to a wine tasting, which was so fun.
With dogs.
A dog-friendly wine tasting, and so there were dogs everywhere, and they were really sweet and bought us 3 bottles of wine to take home, and so we've gotten to enjoy those. And they invited us to spend the night at their Airbnb, where I saw one of the most magical sunsets I've ever seen in my life.
It was incredible. And we met some of their friends and just kind of hung out, and it was a really, really good time. And I think the mini break that we needed after a couple stressful weeks of work and being Stanford football fans.
And yeah, so now we're on our Thanksgiving break, and this was our little recap to catch you up to speed. I think this is going to be sort of how we structure our updates, is once a season. This is our fall update, and you'll get a winter update. And they're gonna kind of be montages of what we've been up to, maybe with a vlog component. And so you're about...
Maybe not.
Maybe not. Don't get too greedy.
Yeah.
This is work, you know.
This is work. Unpaid, I might add.
So our plans for this Thanksgiving, tomorrow's Thanksgiving,
Mm-hmm.
we're making a traditional Thanksgiving feast. We're going to start the morning going on a hike. There's a classic hike called the Stanford Dish hike, where you go up a hill to this big satellite dish on Stanford's campus.
Called the Stanford Dish.
Called the Stanford Dish. You actually, oh my god, we've been doing this for too long. You actually can see it from our apartment balcony, which is really fun. And so we're going to hike up to it.
We're actually going to hike all the way there and then up it.
Yeah. But it's a really iconic thing to do on campus that we haven't done yet. And so we'll do that, then we'll spend the day cooking. And then tomorrow, the women play in the quarterfinals, the women's soccer team. And
Tomorrow's tomorrow.
Oh yeah, Friday.
What is today, but yesterday's tomorrow.
So we're gonna watch the Stanford women's team play. And then Saturday, you guys are in for a treat because we're going to another national park. And so you're gonna get a national park vlog. We're gonna go to...
Oh, why didn't you just say that? Pinnacles National Park.
Yeah, and so that should be really fun. It's only like 2 hours away from us.
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna check our second California National Park off the list.
Second of many.
So we'll see you...
On the other side.
I say tomorrow at the same time. Ready?
Which is code for tomorrow at the same time.
So we'll see you tomorrow.
You just laughed it off, it was all okay. And we'll all float on, okay. And we'll all float on, okay. And we'll all float on, okay. And we'll all float on anyway. Well, I bet you make you took every last dime with that scam. It was worth it just to learn some sleight of hand. That news comes, don't you worry, when it lands. Good news will work its way to all them plans. We both got fired on exactly the same day. Well, we'll float on, good news is on the way. And we'll all float on, okay. And we'll all float on, okay. And we'll all float on, okay. And we'll all float on, alright. Already we'll all float on. Now don't you worry, we'll all float on, alright. Already we'll all float on, alright. Don't worry, we'll all float and we'll all float on, alright. Already we'll all float on, alright. Don't worry.
Hello. So we didn't do a lot of vlogging yesterday because it was our first Thanksgiving together and we spent the day cooking and focusing on meal prep and stuff. And we absolutely crushed it, I think. What was your favorite part of the meal?
The stuffing.
Mm-hmm. Stuffing was so good.
We used like a fresh loaf. Well, I guess not fresh. It was fresh. We when we went to wine country with Katie and Lindsay, they had a loaf of sourdough that they left behind when they left, and we stole it and put it in our freezer specifically so that we could have a like homemade sourdough loaf of bread in our stuffing.
Mm-hmm. And it was so good.
What was your favorite part?
Also the stuffing.
Yeah. Okay. Second favorite part then.
Yeah, the second favorite part, probably the cranberry sauce.
Yeah,
It was very
so
good.
good. It was like orange juice and brown sugar, a little cinnamon.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it was our first ever Thanksgiving together, and so we thought about doing like a full vlog, but we really just wanted to focus on like enjoying this milestone. And so we did film, as you saw, a little cooking montage, but that's about it. But today we're gonna be a little bit better. Slow day. What have you been working on today, Connor?
Today, I'm just working on preparing for a grad school interview I have and checking on my applications before they go out in a couple of weeks, so we'll see how that goes. What have you been working on?
I've been editing the video you're watching.
Meta.
The beginning parts. And taking it really slow because all my classes are canceled for the week of Thanksgiving, and so I don't have any homework, except that's not fully true. I have a homework that's due next week. So I'm gonna work on it a little bit, but I'm taking it very slow.
So what are we doing later today?
In 3 hours and 15 minutes. It's not like my degrees in math or anything.
Nice.
In 3 hours and 15 minutes, the Stanford women's soccer team plays in the Elite Eight round of the NCAA nationwide tournament.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're gonna go see that. But before then, my favorite Thanksgiving tradition is the day after Thanksgiving, taking every single leftover thing and just shoving it into a leftover sandwich with tofurkey. And so I'm gonna make stacked Thanksgiving leftover sandwiches.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. What are you working on, Connor?
I am working on a demo lesson for a grad school interview that I have about static electricity. And yeah.
It looks beautiful.
Thanks. I made it
Shapes,
myself.
there's shapes and colors.
Shapes and colors.
Any good lesson has shapes and colors.
Any good lesson has shapes and colors.
Help!
The static electric. Layer 1 is cranberry sauce. Next layer is scalding hot stuffing. And the secret ingredient is just a little bit of cold Brussels sprout leaves. Then on your other piece, you do mashed potatoes with a ton of gravy. And finally, vegetarian turkey. Are you ready
Yes.
for the best part of Thanksgiving?
So ready.
Okay. Wow.
Mm. Nice.
What was the score of the game?
2-0.
And so we're going to the semifinals. And we came back and we're actually winning a football game. Can you believe it?
Not really, honestly.
Connor, what happened? What happened?
We just did the one thing that we could not afford to do and gave the ball away.
And now we're losing as always. Boo football.
Welcome to Connor's Cooking Show.
can you teach me about, ooh, static electricity?
So right now we're watching the U.S. women's national team play against England, and we decided to do Pinnacles tomorrow because we got a later start today.
Why?
Because I have acid reflux.
Tummy problems.
Anyway.
Since we're maybe doing Pinnacles tomorrow and definitely not today, we decided to do a little outing today anyway, and we're gonna go to Half Moon Bay, which is northwest of here on the Pacific Ocean in the Half Moon Bay area. So many bays.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Salut, je suis un espadon. J'ai perdu mon téléphone par le champ de tournesol. Il devient un champignon. C'est que des champignons. C'est inutile, c'est pas bon si tu as envie d'appeler. Le mieux de tous espadons. Oh, oh, oh. Oh, oh. Salut, je suis un espadon. J'ai perdu mon téléphone par le champ de tournesol. Il devient un champignon. Je m'inquiète pour tout le monde. Chaque garçon et chaque espadon qui ne peut pas savourer. Je vois par coup de téléphone. Oh, oh, oh.
We got bored.
What?
So where are we going?
Basketball.
Stanford men's basketball game. We've been to a couple women's basketball games. We've never been to a men's basketball game. Very fun.
We're gonna win.
Hoop hoop. Hello everyone, it is 7 o'clock and Connor's not wearing a seatbelt. And we are headed to Pinnacles National Park, our first national park since the road trip. And there's tarantulas.
Tarantulas and condors.
Holy shit.
We just finished our hike. It took us about 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
It was like 6-ish miles. Lots of elevation climb and very cool. I wasn't expecting to have to climb like on my hands and knees in little footholds.
It was insane. That was such a fun hike. The elevation change I think is like 1,600 feet or something.
Yeah, lots of climbing. Very cool. I'm super glad we did that.
I have to. Whoa. Athletic.